Now, if you have not already, please check us out on Instagram at Cowboys Report IG. We have short form videos and, of course, some photos up there as well. Give us a follow at Cowboys Report IG. A super thanks to begin today's live show. Hey, Tom, how's the family? What's your feeling on center Hunter Nourzad, Penn State? If we take Mims or another left tackle and Jackson Powers Johnson and Frazier, etc., are gone in the second round. I have a fifth-round grade on the Penn State centers. That would put them, if you get to the fifth round, he's there. I would have no complaints about going that route there. Is more position flex, by the way, than someone like Matt Lee, which might result in him getting drafted, a little bit earlier from that perspective. I believe, by the way, he was a fan of the Cowboys growing up, too. So keep that in mind. From Ed, you got any sleeper QBs that you take a flyer on in the seventh? I mean, I got Devin Leary in the seventh. I got Milton in the sixth, and Jordan Travis. I don't like those later day three quarterbacks. I think they're all kind of pretty mediocre. Because Rattler's not going to get there to the seventh. Pratt's not going to get there to the seventh. The other issue is this. Sure, he can be your new third QB, whatever. In theory, you're probably going to have a new regime next year, right? Well, that new regime probably doesn't want to have the quarterback thrust upon them, especially a backup there. And I think most of us want to give all those reps to Trey Lance, so you're kind of not giving him a lot of playing time, even in practice and stuff. So it kind of becomes, are you getting enough return on your investment? Ecuadorman AOG, let's say you don't take left tackle in the draft. Do you trust Becton or do you move Tyler? So this kind of comes down to assuming you take a left guard or a center, or maybe let's say you take a center in round one or wherever. Do I trust Mekhi Becton or do I trust TJ Bass more? Becton was pretty bad last season. So it's a little of half a dozen of one, 6 of the other, but I might be more inclined to just put Tyler Smith at left tackle and give TJ Bass a shot at left guard. I also wouldn't be mad if they just brought in Becton anyway and said, let's have a 3-man competition for 2 spots. It's not the worst idea. It's doing something, at least. But I think I would trust, I hate to say it, maybe they just like their guys, and that is the best path there. From Mighty Ants 0215 again, protest in front of the Star. Who is down? The vibes are bad right now around this Cowboys organization. I can't say I blame anyone either. Are you mad at the Dallas Cowboys over their offseason so far? Y for yes, N for no. Go ahead and sound off for me at the pinned comment of today's show. That's Y for yes, N for no. Roy Williams, again, I ask which one. Draft Josh Cephus in the 5th round. The height and speed is insane. So it's not. The height's good. He's 6'2", 193. But he ran a 4.58 40 at his pro day. The shuttle and 3-cone numbers weren't particularly great. I think there might have been some false info out there about how well he tested. This could be a great UDFA to bring in out of UTSA. That could be the route the Cowboys end up pursuing there. Eddie Joe, who are the best prospects not invited to the Combine? Oh, it's a good question. I don't think Christian Boyd was a Combine invite. I think Blake Watson out of Memphis was a non-Combine invite. Trying to look at my other names on this list here. Let's see. I'm forgetting one more guy that I liked. I think I get named the monitor as a deep sleeper is probably Giovanni Manu out of British Columbia, who the Cowboys brought in. But I'm pretty sure Christian Boyd was a non-Combine invite. I think Blake Watson was also a non-Combine invite out of Memphis. Chris B., Cowboys draft going to be wild because why not? Historically, they draft well, but also understandable if we don't trust them with the way the offseason has gone so far. Today's Cowboys Report is made possible by GameTime. GameTime is the place for last-minute tickets to your next big event. Prices tend to drop as the events get closer, but it can be a little bit anxiety-inducing to have to wait and wonder if you're going to get the best deal. GameTime takes the guesswork out of buying tickets, especially when they are last minute. The GameTime guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, GameTime will credit you 110% of the difference. Download the GameTime app, create your account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. That's code CHATSPORTS, ChatSports, for $20 off. They've got exclusive flash deals, sponsored deals for football, basketball, and of course concerts, comedy, theater, and more. Maybe depending on how the Mavs end up playing, you can find a nice deal for Game 3. Maybe you can get decent tickets for the Stars. Playoff hockey is not nearly as expensive as playoff NBA is. So again, link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. From Vince, how much are you willing to pay to trade up for an elite tackle prospect if one falls out of the top 10, first, second, and third? Now, from the trade value chart perspective, let me make sure my math is right on this one here. I think to give up all three of those picks, frankly, I think you're committing a fairly sizable overpay. Those three picks combined should be able to get you roughly into the top 10. Now, if Joe Alt's there at 10, maybe it starts to make a little bit of sense, but I have so many needs, I can't give up all of those picks. I'm almost more inclined to move up and trade a future second and keep my second this year to go get somebody. That might be more appealing to me because I need those picks this season. From Joey, Tavondre Sweat is there at 174. Are you taking him? At that point, I do think the risk would or the reward would outweigh the risk involved. There are going to be teams who have Sweat off their board. He checked in at 100 in the end for me because that was already a concern. I saw it just casually dismisses, oh, you like to party. Well, yeah, but a college student who went to parties. I'm like, no, but more than that, guys. It was that he wasn't fully locked in and committed because he was partying. It's not that he went to the occasional frat party. It's that this was a real concern for teams, and he told them he was over his partying ways, and then he gets a DWI. So he could go anywhere from round 2 to round 5, or even longer. Wouldn't shock me. If he's there at 174, I'm in. From Jeremy, will Dallas draft a quarterback early, and if so, what will you do? The first thing is I will be very surprised because there's been the Cowboys are not they don't hide their intentions. They're we have almost the entire 30-visit list out. We know all of the quarterbacks who they met with at the Combine. Cowboys weren't on those lists. So if Dallas was able to hide their intentions from everybody, I'll actually give them credit for pulling that off. Be a very un-Cowboys-esque move. It would, in theory, be Penix or Bo Nix, and I don't have top 50 grades on those guys. Penix is 64th, and Bo Nix is 86 for me. Be like, that's a reach. Half-round grade or full-round grade boost. Okay, we're in range there, I guess, for positional value. But I'd be like, okay, I'm surprised. Right, not what I would have done. This is the new franchise quarterback. That's how I would approach it. And I refer to early as round 1. Bo Nix in the second, it would be kind of interesting to me. Third, I thought he gets there anyway. Pratt in the third, or Rattler in the third, it's really? Will the Cowboys draft a quarterback early? 1 for yes, 0 for no. Sound off in the comments section. From Wes, how about the linebackers from Ohio State? Double dip at O-line and linebacker. I don't mind that idea. That's also 4 of your 7 picks, so you're a little bit thin from that perspective. I've got Tommy Eichenberg in the 4th/5th. I am not as high on him as others. I get a little bit anxious about the way he moves, though he did test pretty well. And then Steel Chambers, elite name, but I didn't love the production. It kind of falls in the older project category. I'd be in the 7th round. From Rudy, Cowboys will have no contract offer from Dak until they see Lance in the preseason. It's not the most outlandish theory. I think that trying to judge and determine if this is your next franchise QB based on preseason versus backups is probably a bad idea. But then again, it's not like the Cowboys' plan has been good anyway, so I suppose I can't put it past them. The real issue is that, if Lance looks good, that's not really leverage for Dak to take less because his leverage comes from other teams, From Ryan Kennedy, would you trade Micah and some future picks for Surtain/picks? I'm in pretty good shape at corner. I probably would not. I just think you're trading one elite young player for another elite young player, but you didn't have a massive cornerback need in the first place, and now you have a gaping edge need. I don't think it makes enough sense for me. From OG Rungtag, what time are y'all starting your coverage on Thursday? I'm going to be upset for the Jones boys for this draft. So the Chat Sports coverage, youtube.com/chatsports, TV, will be at 2 hours before the NFL draft begins, so 6 p.m. Eastern time. Our coverage, the simulcast, and eventually just me on screen for the Cowboys kind of midway through the first round, that's going to begin 30 minutes before the draft, so should be right around 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you are subscribed and turn your notifications on. You will get the 30-minute advanced warning that we will be going live then. So subscribe. Make sure those noties are turned on. Steven GX, my draft has Fautanu at 24, Wilson at 56, Wright at 87, McCaffrey at 176, Brennan Jackson at 216, Keith Randolph at 233, Matt Lee at 244. I'm checking my personal board, but I believe that, yes, outside of slightly Keith Randolph, a little bit lower, but it's fine. There's not a huge gap there in terms of I had a 6th, 7th grade on him. Every player there you got after I have them ranked. So I like that pick. I like that plan a lot. Chris Romero doesn't seem like the most likely trade. Trade down, take O-lineman end of round 1, then highest available RB in round 2. BPA in the throw out on a linebacker, D-line corner, or another O-line. Wouldn't be surprised if that's the route that they went. It does depend on what linemen are there. Like if there's a clear-cut guy that's O-lineman in round 1, they're probably going to stand pat and take it. If all the top guys go off the board that they wanted, and it's like you've got Sumatai, Frazier, and Guyton all there, then I think maybe JPJ too, then a trade down makes all the sense. Because one of those 4 will probably be there for you. But it just depends on how the board falls. Last one again from Ed. 2 more, I guess. Chris B just came to the Super. How about a mock where baby Olivia makes the picks? Maybe I'll try to film it with the draft sim and have her pick one. Who knows if that would actually work. Thanks. That's a good idea, though, Ed. I appreciate it. And Chris B, who is your round 1 prediction right now? I don't know if he's going to be there, but I'm going to go with Graham Barton. He might not make it that far, but if teams don't view him as a tackle and they view him as an interior player only, then I think he might get outside the top 19, and then you're a couple picks away. So, again, I don't have a great feel because you're picking so far back of round 1. My guess last year was Will McDonald. He went too early. I don't know what's going to happen this time in 2024. Who do you think the Cowboys will end up drafting? Go ahead and sound off for me in the comment section right now.